This Impreza is both affordable and has all-wheel drive. I'm going to include a link to the Nate Wade Subaru's website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get right into the video. Powering this is a 2-liter flat 4-cylinder that goes through a CVT. Fuel economy is 27 around town, 34 on the highway, with power outputs being 152 horsepower and then 145 pound-feet of torque. I'm trying to reach 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. We've got this bright silver paint on this one, and I kind of like that little U shape there with the indentation on the hood. The new Impreza has really sharp looking headlights, and then this one is equipped with fog lights as well. And we have some blacked out trim there on the center grille, which makes this look a little bit sportier. Tire and wheel setup is 225 by 40 by 18. You've got the silver there on the top and then the gloss black trim in the center with the wheels. And elements like the mirror caps and the door handles are body painted to match. Compared to the base model, those upgraded wheels definitely give the Impreza a much more upscale look. This leads us to the key fob where we've got our lock and unlock function. We have the unlock for the hatch as well, and it's got a nice weight to it. Now the hatch itself, of course, is hydraulic for the opening. This is a compact car, but the storage space back here is more than adequate for most people. And then with the second row folded down, it's not a completely flat load floor, but it does have a slight ramp that's not too bad. And let's close her up. I think that's pretty cool with how the taillight kind of arcs across. And then that's the rest of the exterior, and this is where you can really see that hatchback design. Let's now pop inside. We've got this soft touch with the red stitching, a little bit of storage down below that on the door panel. The seats are cloth, but they continue that theme of the kind of sportier red stitching. Legroom back here is actually really good for a compact car. And there's not like an excess of headroom, but I fit back here pretty good. Keyless entry up front. Front door panel adds some cloth trim. Again, you've got more of that red stitching still. Blind spot monitoring, and then the front 2 windows are actually automatic and the mirrors are power adjustable. And then you can see here with the gray cloth trim, the seats are manually adjustable as well. And let's start her up. Now basic trim all around the steering wheel itself, but of course Subaru logo there in the center. We have our adaptive cruise control with our lane centering function, and then you've got your SI mode select below that, your drive modes. On the other side, you've got your voice command controls, volume controls, and then there are paddle shifters there in the back to manually shift the quote-unquote gears. The CVT doesn't have real gears. And then as for the gauge cluster itself, mostly analog, but you do have that little screen there in the center which you can use to scroll through different info, and then again the SI mode select will pop up there. Backup camera in reverse, not a huge screen view, but the resolution is pretty good. Now the infotainment system itself I think is nicely integrated into the dash. It has analog controls for the radio on either side, climate controls as well. But then there's also a tap at the bottom of the screen to control the climate controls. And then as for the rest of the screen itself, it's pretty quick to respond. I think everything is relatively well labeled and it's user-friendly overall. Got some USB ports down below with an auxiliary. Shifter here for the CVT, parking brake behind it, and then we've got some cup holders and a little 12-volt. Nice trim on the center console lid. Pretty good storage overall as well. And then that design with the trim across the dash I think looks pretty sharp. So 2025 Impreza Sport, total MSRP $27,638. Let's see how it performs. Let's see how impressive the Impreza is. See what I did there? See what I did there? We'll give it a 2 out of 10 for creativity. 10 out of 10 for dad joke-ness. So the Impreza Sport, I think this might be the sweet spot. The RS is really cool, but then you're, you know, $30,000. This, not cheap by any means, but it's not that much more than the base model, and it gives you the better infotainment system. Instead of having the split screen set up in the base model, it gives you nicer looking wheels, the nicer interior with the seats and the trim and everything. It's just a little bit of a nicer place. It's a couple $1,000s more, so you have to decide if you think if that stuff is worth the extra couple thousand. What I will say right off the bat, ride quality's nice. And the thing I like about Subarus is they focus on the suspension damping quite a bit because they intend for these cars to go over some more rugged terrain. Now the Impreza obviously is not going to have any sort of off-road package on it, but they still kind of intend for people to have some all-wheel drive fun with it. And so yeah, going over the bumps compared to a lot of other unibody independent suspension vehicles, this just seems to soak things up a little bit better. I think that's a huge plus, personally. Now, aside from that, so I just got to make sure that person's crossing. The power is pretty smooth. You know, these boxer 4-cylinders with the CVT is usually not very smooth, but the boxer 4-cylinder kind of smooths things out because it's got a nice linear power band. I really appreciate it. I think that it, you know, all things considered, performs quite well. Yeah, the acceleration you get is, again, it's not fast by any means, 152 horsepower, folks, but not bad. It gets up and moves at a respectable pace, I think is a good way to put it. Yeah, when you go over the bumps and everything, it's quite nice. Quite nice. So, I guess we'll start to close things off. Other things I like about this is the interior materials. It's either, you know, I know some people don't like plastic, but it's durable feeling plastic. And then it has some nice areas that look a little bit fancier. So it's got a pretty good mix, I'd say. Pretty good mix. But this is a great affordable car. I mean, there's not a lot of cars that you can get brand new that are under 20, or sorry, 20. I wish this was under $20,000. Under $30,000, all-wheel drive. I mean, that's pretty good as is. I mean, the Corolla, you can get an all-wheel drive hybrid version, but I think those are usually like 30 grand if I remember right from what I've seen on dealer lots. Civic, no all-wheel drive there. Mavericks, you can get those all-wheel drive, but base model and a little bit more money. I mean, what else is there really? There's not, like, everything's over $30,000 nowadays. So, I mean, if you're looking for something that's got decent space, that's comfortable, gets pretty good fuel economy, can handle all 4 seasons, again, you just put snow tires on these and the symmetrical all-wheel drive system's great. They're wonderful. The only downside about the symmetrical all-wheel drive system is you got to replace all the tires if you have a one tire go. That is the one downside about Subarus. So, let me know you guys think about the Impreza Sport, but I think it is quite impressive. And the price point is what we need. We need more sub $30,000 cars. Sub $20,000 too, but I don't think that exists anymore, sadly.